Have you ever stopped to think about it? In a world with billions of people, there is literally no one else exactly like you. So why is that? Today, we're going to dive into the science of what makes every single one of us unique. And you'll see why those differences, well, they're basically a superpower. So here's what we've got lined up. We're going to start with the whole mystery of being unique. Then we'll get into the actual science of it all and tackle that classic debate, nature versus nurture. After that, we'll see what happens when those two worlds collide, look at how scientists actually measure this stuff, and wrap it all up with why being different is, seriously, one of the most powerful things in nature. All right, let's just start with a basic fact that's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. Every single one of us is completely 100% unique. But what's the science behind that? How does all this incredible diversity even happen? So yeah, that's the big question, right? Why is there no one on Earth exactly like you? I mean, think about it. Even identical twins who share the same DNA aren't perfectly identical. So what's going on here? What forces are at play that create this amazing spectrum of who we are? And hey, this isn't just a human thing, not by a long shot. Just look around you in the natural world. Seriously, anywhere. From the wild patterns on a crab's shell to the different sizes of fish in a school, being unique is the rule, not the exception. This thing we call variation, it's everywhere. Okay, so scientists, of course, have a name for all these differences we're talking about. Let's dig into the science and figure out what it is. And that word is variation. That's it. It's really just a straightforward term for all the differences that exist between living things. And I mean, even within the same species, like between you and me, or between two golden retrievers, or even two oak trees on the same street. You're seeing variation all day, every day. It's why some of us are tall and some are shorter. It's our eye color, our hair color, even our shoe size. And in the plant world, it's all the different shapes of leaves you see. For animals, it's their size, their coloring, you name it. It's all just variation at work. So the big question is, where does all this variation come from? Well, it pretty much boils down to two main causes. And you've probably heard of this before. It's the classic nature versus nurture debate. So let's break that down. On one side, you've got nature, or what scientists call inherited variation. These are the traits passed down from your parents through your genes. You're just born with them. Then on the other side, you've got nurture, or environmental variation. This is all the stuff caused by your surroundings and your life experiences, and these traits can totally change over your lifetime. Okay, let's focus on the nature part first. This is all about your genes. A good way to think about it is that your genes are like a biological instruction book that you get from your parents. It's what sets the blueprint for a lot of your core features. So things like your natural eye color, your natural hair color, your blood type, even whether your hair is naturally curly or straight, that's all written in your genetic code. It was all decided before you were even born. All right, now let's flip to the other side, nurture. This is, well, it's basically everything else. The world around you, what you eat, how you live, where you grow up, all the things that happen to you, every single one of those things leaves its mark and shapes who you become. Think about it. A suntan isn't in your DNA, right? You get it from the sun. A scar isn't genetic, it's from an injury. The language you speak, you learned that from the people around you. Getting stronger muscles from working out, all of these are perfect examples of traits shaped by your environment. Okay, pop quiz time. Let's see if you've got this. Let's start with your natural hair color. Is that inherited or environmental? Yep, you got it. That's inherited. It's passed down through your genes. Okay, next one. How about a suntan? You go on vacation, spend a week in the sun. What's that? That's 100% environmental. Your genes didn't change, but your environment sure did. Classic example. But, and this is where it gets really interesting, it's not always so black and white. It's not always one or the other. In fact, most of the time, nature and nurture are actually working together as a team. Yeah, the real story for a lot of who we are is that it's a partnership. Your genes might sketch out a plan, but it's your environment that fills in a lot of the details. It really is a team effort. Just take a look at these examples. Take height. Your genes might give you the potential to be 6 feet tall, but if you don't get the right nutrition as a kid, you might not reach it. Or think about weight. Some people have a genetic predisposition to be a certain size, but of course, diet and exercise have a huge impact. It's a total collaboration. And what's really blowing scientists' minds now is that we're learning our environment can actually switch genes on or off. How wild is that? So it's one thing to talk about all these differences, but how do scientists actually study them? Well, they have a pretty clear, straightforward method for measuring variation. It's actually a pretty simple process. First, you just pick a characteristic you want to look at. Then, you grab the right tool, like a ruler or a scale, to get an accurate measurement. The key here is you have to measure everyone in the group the exact same way to keep it fair. And last, you just write down all the results so you can start comparing them and looking for patterns. Here's a super easy one you can literally do right now. Your hand span. Just stretch out your hand and measure the distance from the tip of your thumb to the tip of your little finger. All you need is a ruler. And if you did this with a few friends, you'd get a table that looks something like this. You can see right away, even with just 4 people, there's variation. Everybody's measurement is a little bit different. But now, imagine you measure a whole classroom. What do you do with all that data? You plot it on a bar chart, and suddenly, bam, you can see the whole picture. A visual like this instantly shows you the range of differences and how common each measurement is. It makes the pattern of variation crystal clear. Okay, so this brings us to the biggest question of all. So what? Why does any of this even matter? It's cool that we're all different, but is there a point to it? And the answer is a huge yes. It's not just interesting, it's absolutely essential for survival. Here's the bottom line. Variation is what allows species to survive. Think about it. The world is always changing. Having a ton of variation in a species is like having a giant toolkit with all sorts of different tools. When the environment changes, maybe it gets hotter or a new disease appears, some individuals in the group will just happen to have the right tool, the right trait to handle that change. That allows them to survive and, in turn, helps the whole species to keep going. So at the end of the day, every single difference, no matter how big or small, plays a part in this incredible story of adaptation. It really leaves you with a powerful idea to chew on, doesn't it? In this constantly changing world, the very things that make you different from everyone else, well, they might just be the key to the future.